Hey guys, I'm a creator of the little CHUFF ARG or something here, and today I have a lot to show you guys. So today I'm gonna be showing you the original concept of CHUFF or something. I don't really know, along with some media for my old crappy ARG. Yeah. Let's get into the video. So now, here's the first image. The first image I have here are the original concepts of Chuff. These are the original Season 1 characters. Anyways, here's a more better quality image. The first engine I have here is Jinty, or should I say Chuff, because this version of the ARG, well, Jinty's name was supposed to be Chuff, apparently. Cause, the show is called Chuff and, all that stuff, and, yeah. And this engine right here, I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be great. This engine right here is E2, because in this ARG, E2 was supposed to appear in Season 1, but instead I decided to push him to Season 4, cause, I felt like there are a little bit too much characters in Season 1, but now I decide to add a whole bunch of characters to Season 1, like the Silver Star, some of these other characters and all of that, and, yeah. And also in this ARG, Jinty was supposed to be called Chug, or Chugs, or I don't really know, yeah. And this character right here, I forgot the lore around this character, but I think he was supposed to be Barry or something. I guess so. I don't really know, but I'm pretty sure he's Barry. And this engine right here, he is supposed to be Phil, and I guess back in this ARG, Phil was supposed to appear in Season 1, but I decided to push him to Season 4 because, like I said, I thought there were too many Season 1 characters. As for this character right here, I'm pretty sure this character was supposed to be Kyle the K2. And I decided to push Kyle to Season 4 because like I said, too many characters, Season 1, all of that, blah blah blah. As for this character, I do not who this character was supposed to be. But I'm pretty sure this character was also supposed to be Express Engine, but kind. You know Rob from Engines of 8? Well, I guess Great Barry, I guess they were supposed to have like a third member. And I guess it's supposed to be like Rob, like a character that was supposed to be like Rob, all happy and cheerful. I think he was going to have a darker livery, like the same livery as like Rob from Engines of 8 or like something, yeah. And these images right here are original Chuff photos, and these photos are pretty interesting because some of these photos resemble some of the photos seen in Chuff. And now, obviously, I scribbled all over these photos because I didn't like them, but I didn't know why I did that because these were like the only things like preserving like my like lost media and stuff, like all of it. Well, this isn't really lost, but it's like unseen by like anybody except like me. But yeah. If you're wondering why they're so small, I used to have a obsession with like drawing small. I do not know why I was obsessed with drawing so small, but I just was. I do not know why. Like actually. Maybe it was cause I like miniature things and all that, like the Eastern Hills Railway, has like small trains and all that. Yeah. Also, here's a more high resolution version. Yeah. The first photo we have here is supposed to be like a screenshot of like Great or something. I don't really know, but I'm pretty sure it's just a screenshot of Great. And now this photo is interesting because this photo resembles the Jinty and Express photo because this was the earlier version of the Jinty and the Express photo. This this looks pretty cheap. The Jinting Express photo has basically like now like tree forms now. First form was this, then it was like the little 1936 version, and now it's the 1938 version. Yeah. This screenshot right here is supposed to be a Phil going to like a signal and like passing by it because one of the episodes I came up for this ARG was called Signal Troubles. As for Signal Troubles, I'm pretty sure it's still gonna be canon to Chuff, but I don't know what season to put it in. Maybe I'll put it in like season 3, season 4, since that's like Phil's debut. Yeah, maybe I'll even put it in season 5. This photo, I'm pretty sure was also supposed to be like a Jintian Express screenshot or another photo. I don't really know. But I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be some kind of even earlier Jintian Express photo. But I erased it and replaced it with that one before I replaced it with that one, and then replaced it with that one. Yeah. So now it's time for me to talk about the lore of this ARG. So, for this version of the ARG, I actually planned 2 series for this ARG. The first like series was supposed to be like it was like a spin-off show, like spin-offs, like there will be like 2 separate shows that will be like about the same characters, same thing, but like in a different location and all that stuff. Basically that was supposed to be what the second series was supposed to be. But before we talk about that, let me talk about the first series. The first series was oh my god, was basically supposed to be like footages, clips, and photos and all of that, but with analog horror and all that stuff, like little bits of that. And now for the second series. The second series was supposed to be like a completion of like VHS tapes, lore, all that stuff. The second series was gonna be called the CHUFF tapes, and was about like this like multiple tapes mixed together into one big completion with like bunch of analog horror and all that stuff, and it was all creepy and stuff. Never made those videos. Yeah. And for this ARG, well, instead of having like the little smoke box door style face, style, I decided to go for like the little gray face style and like Thomas and Friends. Instead of having like the big eyes, I wanted to keep it simple and keep it like in like a William Middleton style, and instead like kept the little 2 black dots and like a smile and all of that. I also had plans to maybe like give the engines like noses too, I guess. I don't really know. Now, anyways, that's the lore for that I guess. Now, anyways, it's time I move to the very, very, very first version of this ARG. 1 year ago, I posted this, and it's let's just say it obviously it doesn't have like the best editing. It didn't even have like film grain and stuff, and this was very different. So let me explain. So, unlike Chuff, the very first version of this ARG was called Railway Comics, and also, Chuff was also called Railway Comics earlier on, but then I changed the name. So, let me, explain. So, I was struggling with a bunch of ideas, and I came up with, hey, what if I make a Engines of 8 style ARG thingamajig, but instead of it being filmed with model trains and sliding PNGs, I'll use drawings instead, and made it like some like 2D rubber horse style stuff, and that made Railway Comics. It's pretty bad. Yeah. Um, uh, Railway Comics is bad. I don't like it. It's bad. In this version of the ARG, this was like the lowest like point of like CHUFF like ever. And my editing, it has obviously like improved a lot, so that's good. So anyways, let me explain. So the music, so first of all, for this version of the ARG, some of the bases they weren't accurate to the time period. Yeah. Another thing I would like to explain is how most of the music that played in this version of the ARG was never made in the 1930s, but was made in the 1960s, which would basically break the laws of physics. I do not know what my logic was there, but that something was going on there. I also forgot to mention, but Barry actually looked like this in this version of the ARG. So, and instead of his name being Barry, his name was Germania. Yeah, it doesn't really, the name really doesn't really, suit him, in my opinion. And he was like, I think he was had the same basis as, like, Barry the Rescue Engine's basis, and Barry's basis didn't come out until like 1944, and this took place in 1939. I don't know what my logic was there. Also, in this version of the ARG, some scenes would even like blatantly rip off Engines of Eight. Not. I don't think this scene. I'm pretty sure this scene is like inspired by like that Racing Rob viaduct scene. But this is what Ned looked like in this earlier version of the ARG, and Ned was called Edville in this version of the ARG, and even worse, he had the same basis as Eddie from Engines of Eight. So basically, I just ripped off Eddie from Engines of Eight, and also canonically in like Technicolor prints, he was blue, exactly like Eddie. So yeah, I basically just ripped off a entire character and just changed its name and face to yeah. I also forgot to mention, but one of the episodes of this ARG was called like Racing Trouble, which was obviously like a ripoff to like Racing Rob. In my opinion, Racing Trouble was a little bit much more different from Racing Rob in a way, in my opinion. Yeah. But that's all I have to really say. And I also forgot to mention, but during this version of the ARG, I was also working on a second episode of Railway Comics that was never seen by anyone else other than me. Be warned, it's very edgy. Not edgy, but it's very cringy, very bad. I genuinely cringe while looking at it. Yeah. Also, I forgot to mention, but due to some problems, basically some scenes had to in this this episode had to get reconstructed due to some of them missing but the good thing is at least it was able to be restored to its yeah. One day, Bill was at the station when Jeremiah would soon come. Hello there, Bill. How are you doing? Not this loser again. Anyways, that's all I have to say for this version of the ARG. But now, let's move to the modern version of this ARG, aka CHUFF. So, you probably know like the old era of CHUFF when the early eras of CHUFF, it was like good and better than really comics, but like Deading was like bad and stuff. It was like still like bad, but it was like way more better, which was good. Um uh, but there was you guys probably know Magenti and Express. Well, like after that, I actually ended up working on Engine Rivals, aka like the early version of Great and Barry. But eventually, I decided to change the plot to Engine Rivals, and eventually I also changed the name too. But anyways, here's what's left of this early version of Great and Barry. Anyways, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and goodbye.